6 IDF soldiers killed in battle. IDF is increasing pressure in southern Lebanon. And a sign of life from Sasha, the hostage in Gaza. This is Rotem again for All of Israel News. We're here with Yediot Achronot newspaper, the Hebrew newspapers that Israelis are reading today in the morning. Chativat Golani shuv meshalemet mechir kaved. The Golani Brigade is again paying a heavy price. Nehergu bakrav, killed in battle, panim el panim, face to face. 6 Golani soldiers. Magbirim et halachatz, increasing the pressure in Lebanon. So let's open up and read more about the pressure in Lebanon, but first we'll start with the 6 soldiers from Golani. Hagiborim shelo yeshuvu, the heroes that will not return. Hama'arav, ma'arav is ambush. Hahitaklut, the run-in. Vehakrav haheroi, and the heroic battle that ended in the death of 6 soldiers. It was close to 10 a.m. yesterday in South Lebanon. A force from the Golani Brigade entered one of the villages that the IDF has not really worked in before. And Mechablei Hezbollah terrorists opened with fire towards the fighters. They handled a face-to-face war for hours. It was a heroic battle, it says, from a short distance, really face-to-face. And the result is hard. Hatotza'ah kasha. Shisha lochamim, 6 soldiers, fighter soldiers, were killed. From the beginning of the war, Hachativa Hachuma, Chativat Chuma is the brown brigade, because they have a brown beret, so they call it the Brown Brigade, lost 103 soldiers from the beginning of the war. The IDF investigation is asking, how is it that the Hezbollah terrorists were still alive in that house, even though there was fire that preceded the entrance of the IDF infantry soldiers. Usually the IDF sends fire from the Air Force or by tanks before infantry soldiers enter, exactly to avoid these kinds of situations of ambush. But in this case, there was fire that preceded, and still these Hezbollah terrorists were still alive in this building, and the result is so devastating. So they think there was a tunnel underneath the house in which the Hezbollah terrorists were hiding in, and they were protected in. After the fire that preceded the entrance of the infantry soldiers, they came out, the infantry soldiers came, and they were ambushed. It was a very hard battle. We read here about Itai Merkovich, Sheria Elboim, Dror Chen, Nir Gofer, Yitzchak Segron, and Yoav Daniel. And there is a bit of information on each one of them. You read quotes from their families about them. This guy has been a good friend. This guy is an excellent soldier with great values. Another one is wonderful with excellent in computers and technology. And just story after story, there's a whole life behind these people. And when they're killed, it's like their whole personality comes out. You read about them, you know who they are, who's their family, who has lost them. They're great smiles and great stories about them. It is really, really devastating. And for the Golani Brigade, this is a very big loss. As we said, 103 soldiers died or lost from the Golani Brigade since the beginning of the war. And the cartoon in this newspaper also shows this tragedy, as we see 6 brown berets from the Golani Brigade. Here we are, you see the brown berets on them. In the background of the cedar tree that is the symbol of Lebanon on their flag. They were lost on the land of we call it the cedar tree land in Lebanon. May their memory be blessed, and may their families at least know how to comfort one another as a group. The next headline, Kach me'atzev Tzahal et hayom she'acharei beLebanon. This is how the IDF is preparing for the day after. Hayom she'acharei is the day after in Lebanon. The IDF soldiers are pushing deeper into Lebanon, and they're paying a heavy price. In this situation, the IDF is increasing the hits on Hezbollah. The IDF is increasing also the military pressure. This is all in order to come to some sort of ceasefire or agreement in Lebanon. The main purpose of the IDF's operation right now in South Lebanon is to prevent from the terror organization Hezbollah from attacking the northern Israeli villages on the Israeli side after the war. This is a very informative article. We see here in the photograph the IDF soldiers in South Lebanon operating there. So in summary, this article is sharing about the IDF pushing deeper into Lebanon to prepare for the day after, which is supposedly coming soon. The IDF is trying to clean out as much as they can to protect Israel, especially the northern border of Israel. Next headline is the Cry of Sasha Tov. Haze'aka, the cry shel Sasha. Tizkeru otanu. Remember us, he says. This is the propaganda video that was released by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. It's the third time they're releasing a video since the beginning of the war, and specifically of Sasha. It says it's the third video. The families of Sasha and the families of the hostages say that in the beginning this is a relief. You can breathe, they feel a relief. But very quickly we lose that extra oxygen because they don't know how he'll be treated right after. There's no promise that he will stay alive. The health department shares concerns over their health as though second winter in captivity is coming up. They're weaker. There's less food. They say they could be suffering from hypothermia, and being overly cold, from infectious diseases, and from heart problems, from depression, and suicidal tendencies. There's quotes here of what Sasha said in the video, and I'm going to share it with you. He says, Shana shani nimtza po b'shevi. A whole year I'm here in captivity. It's a year that I've been feeling there's been lack of food, of water. There's no electricity. Right now we're out of basic hygienic products like soap and shampoo. Because of this condition, I have a problem in my skin right now that I did not have before. I would like to remind all of Israeli citizens, and every time you eat something or drink something, remember us, the hostages, that we do not have the privilege of enjoying the food or the water that you're eating or drinking. In the photograph here, we see Sasha's mother and grandmother being released from captivity in November 2023. We don't know if Sasha knows that his family members were released. He may be very, very concerned over them, or he may know that they're released. We don't know. But we can just imagine the hardships he's going through. And Nir Oz, Sasha's from Nir Oz. Nir Oz has many kibbutz members that were kidnapped and still in captivity. Let's remember them in prayer. There's still 101 hostages in Gaza, and many of them are still alive. We hope that they come home soon. The last article, something good to end with. Alufot HaOref, the champions of the home front. And this is a very heartwarming initiative of elderly women from Emek Israel, Israel's valley, somewhat north in Israel, and they're helping wives of reserve soldiers. So the wives that have been carrying the burden alone, this initiative sends food. They cook for them, they wash their clothes, they take the children, they shower the children, they take the dogs on walks. And one of them, Anat, she's 63 years old, and she says, I'm enjoying every moment, and the most important spice in my food is love. So thank you for strengthening the home front, really champions. This is it for today, and if you want to get more news and more updates about Israel, relevant stories of what's happening today and why it matters, go to allisrael.com and subscribe to our channel. And if you like this video, please like it and share it with your families and friends. This is Rotem again for All Israel News.